Hi students, in this video we are going to discuss about Snell's window. Let us imagine a tank which is filled up with the water. At the bottom of the tank we have the source of light, for example an electric bulb. Light from the electric bulb travels in all the direction inside the water. Now I have drawn the perpendicular line from the surface of the water to source of light, which is known as normal line. Now we are going to take 3 light rays from the source of light. Here is the first light ray which makes an angle I1 with the normal line. The second light ray makes the angle I2 with the normal line. Third light ray makes the angle I3. Here let us consider the angle of incident made by the second ray, that is I2, is equal to IC. We know that already IC is the critical angle. From the diagram you can understand I1, that is the angle of incident made by the first ray, is less than I2, or otherwise we can write I1 is less than IC. Likewise I3 is greater than I2, so we can say I3 is greater than IC. Let us take the second ray which makes the angle I2, that I2 is equal to critical angle. So what will happen? The refracted ray lies on the layer which divides the denser medium and the rarer medium, which we have discussed in the total internal reflection. So under what condition? The angle of incidence is equal to IC, means angle of refraction is equal to 90 degree. Here the angle between the normal line and the refracted ray is 90 degree. Let us take the third ray. The third ray makes the angle I3. Now I3 is greater than critical angle. Then what will happen? That ray undergoes total internal reflection. That means that will be reflected within a denser medium. So that will be reflected within the water itself. Let us take the first ray which makes the angle I1. That I1 is less than the critical angle. Here the first ray travel from water medium to air medium, so that we move away from the normal. Anyhow, the first ray can come outside of the water medium. Likewise, we can draw the ray diagram in the left side also. For left side also, same conditions can be applied. Let us take the third ray which makes the angle I3 with the normal line. So I3 in this side also greater than the critical angle. So that ray will undergoes total internal reflection. Let us take the second ray. Second ray makes the angle I2 with the normal line. So I2 is equal to critical angle. Then what will happen? The refracted ray lies on the water surface itself. That makes a 90 degree here. Let us take the first ray. First ray makes the angle I1 with the normal line. We know that I1 is lesser than the critical angle. So here also the first ray will undergoes normal refraction, refracted like this. From this diagram you can understand the light rays which makes the angle greater than the critical angle are reflected within the water medium itself. So these light rays will not visible to the observers, those who are outside of the water. So here this light rays will not be visible to the observer since it is reflected within the water itself. So the observer can see the light rays which are within these regions, because those light rays makes the angle less than the critical angle. So this surface only visible to the observer. That circular surface only known as Snell's window. So observer can see the illuminated circular surface. On the other hand, when the light entering the water from outside is seen from inside water, the view is restricted to a particular angle equal to the critical angle IC. For example, sources here, the light ray which makes the critical angle IC only visible to the observer. The light ray which makes the angle more than the critical angle will not be observed by this observer. Likewise, the light ray which makes the angle less than the critical angle will be seen by the observer. Here in between light rays are there, no, that will be observed by this observer. Likewise, same condition can be applied in the left side also. Here it is a light ray that makes the angle IC. This light ray will be visible to the observer, and the light ray which makes the angle more than the critical angle will not be seen by this observer. So here also in between light rays enter into the water inno that can be observed by this observer. So like the previous case, for the observer he can see the restricted circular area which is known as Snell's window. Here you can see the photograph of Snell's window which is taken inside the water. Here light ray from the trees can be seen by the water animals, for example fish, in the angle IC per right side. Likewise, this object can be seen by the fish with the angle IC. As per the previous discussion, the rays which makes the angle more than the critical angle will not be seen by the water animals. Here from this ray, so within this region rays are there, that will be visible to this fish. Likewise, here the rays which makes the angle less than the critical angle will be visible to this fish. At the surface of the water we can get the illuminated circular area which is visible to the water animals. So we can conclude the angle of view for the water animal is restricted twice the critical angle. So IC plus IC, that is 2IC. So within that angle only the water animals can see the object at the outside of the water. We know that the critical angle for the water is 48.6 degree, is more than 48.6 means that undergoes total internal reflection. So in this case the angle of view is 97.2 degree. Now we are going to find the radius of this circular area. The radius R of the circular area is depends on the depth. So R is depends on the depth of the observer and the refractive index of the media. In this case, for this fish, the object, for example tree, seems to be present in this position. Likewise, here also this tree will be appears to be in this position to this fish. To find the radius of this illuminated circular area, that is Snell's window, we are going to take a part of the diagram. So now we are going to concentrate this side. Let us consider this new diagram. Light is seen from the point A at a depth D. The light ray which makes the angle IC will be observed by the observer at the position A. Here by yourself you have to imagine a circular area which is known as Snell's window. So that will be visible to the observer at the A. Now we are going to find the radius of this circular area that is represented by the letter R. In this case, the refraction happening at the point B on the boundary between the two media. We can write the Snell's law in the product form for that refraction. N1 sin I, here angle of incidence is IC, that is equal to N2 sin R, here angle of refraction is 90 degree. We know that value of sin 90 is equal to 1. Here we can find the value of sin IC. So sin IC that is equal to n2. This n1 can be taken right side, n2 by n1. Let us take this as a first equation. In the diagram, from the right angle triangle ABC, what will be the value of sin IC? Same sin IC. From the diagram, opposite side by hypotenuse. What is the opposite side? BC by, what is the hypotenuse value? AB. CB is nothing but a radius of illumination, a radius of Snell's window. That only we are going to find. Here hypotenuse value how to find? Further Pythagoras theorem can be applied. So AB square that is equal to sum of the square of the other two sides. So other two sides are BC square plus AC square. Here BC is only known as radius of the illumination R square plus AC is a depth D square. Here I have found the value of AB square. Then what will be the value of AB? AB that is equal to, for this you have to take the square root, R square plus D square. AB is a hypotenuse for this right angle triangle. So instead of AB you can write root of R square plus D square. Here I have found the another one value of sin IC. So let us take this as a second equation. Equating these two equations. So it's clear, left hand side is equal, so the right hand side also should be equal. So let us equate the right hand sides. Here I have equated the right hand side of second equation with the first equation. Now we are going to square on both the sides. So here it will be R square. If it is square means denominator value will be R square plus D square. Here n2 square by n1 square. Then we can take the reciprocal. So R square plus D square by R square, that is equal to n1 square by n2 square. Here R square is a common thing for both. So it can be written as R square by R square, D square by R square. Here R square can be cancelled. 1. We can take that 1 to the right side. D square by R square, that is equal to, cross multiplication you have to do, n1 square minus n2 square by n2 square. What you are going to find? You are going to find the radius R. For that, once again you have to take the reciprocal. I have taken the reciprocal for the previous expression. Now easily you can find the R value. For that, D square can be taken to right side. So R square that is equal to D square into this expression. So what will be the value of the radius? For that you can take the square root. So R that is equal to D. For this value you have to take the square root. So otherwise it can be written within a square root like this. It is a general expression for the radius of illumination or radius of Snell's window. If the rarer medium outside is air, then n2 can be taken as 1. We know that refractive index of the air is 1, and we can take refractive index of the another one medium as n itself. So this equation can be written as R that is equal to D root of n2. Now we are considered that is a air medium, so it will be 1 square 1 divided by n1 can be taken as n itself, n square minus once again 1. Or simply you can write that as a R that is equal to D by root of n square minus 1. Here you can understand R is directly proportional to depth. Imagine if the source is here, so the radius of Snell's window will be very less. That means the area of the Snell's window will be very less. Suppose this source is taken down, here depth is more, then the radius of illumination will be maximum, area of the Snell's window will be maximum.